How well do you manage the unexpected? If you're a leader, those around you are looking for you to do so effectively. In this short video, I'll explain the 4 attributes effective leaders leverage to respond when the crap hits the fan. Stay tuned. I'm Bob Windover. How do you react when the stress hits the fan? It could be something big, like the website going down in the midst of a promotional campaign. But most time, it's something that strikes when you're just too tired or too busy or too distracted, or maybe a combination of the 3. You know how it works. You're confronted with a situation. You think, I don't have time for this, or I don't need this aggravation, or this is going to kill my day. And these responses are human nature, of course, and they're understandable. But they're not productive, are they? Yet, there are leaders who seem to navigate these crises, large and small, with ease. Perhaps you've worked for one of them. They keep their head when all of those around are losing theirs. It's not like we can avoid stressful situations, of course. They're part of life, both on the job and everywhere else. But how do you respond, and how you deal with this type of thing can make all the difference whether the situation is managed effectively and those around you follow you as you do so. Now, you might be wondering, well, how are these people able to maintain their calm in situations that can unnerve the rest of us? It's a great question. The answer comes down to 4 attributes, which, when combined, enable these individuals to successfully navigate these obstacles. According to McKinsey researchers Jacqueline Brassi, Aaron D. Summet, and Michael Crite, these attributes are adaptability, learning agility, awareness, and emotional self-regulation. Now, the researchers explain all of this in their book, Deliberate Calm: How to Learn and Lead in a Volatile World. Adaptability is that secret sauce that enables us to flex in the face of the unexpected. We're all creatures of habit, right? As a result, we respond to situations based on our experiences and assumptions, regardless of whether these experiences and assumptions are relevant to the current challenge. But if that situation is something we've really never encountered before, if there's not a ready-made resolution that comes to mind, we tend to do one of 2 things. We try to force-fit a solution that we're comfortable with into that situation. Or, unfortunately, we freeze, not knowing how to respond. And neither of these is a good option, is it? Those comfortable with adaptability instinctively take a step back, usually with a bit of humor. They might say something like, well, this is going to be interesting, or, I've not seen this one before. And their response puts those around them at ease and buys them time to consider possible alternatives. They've learned to keep things in perspective. Now, then there's learning agility. Have you ever been faced with a situation outside of your expertise, yet you're the one having to deal with it? I certainly have. Did you feel awkward or uncomfortable, maybe even lost? Me too. So what do those who practice deliberate calm do to respond? They have learned to reach out to really anyone. Learning is not just something we do in a classroom, and learning does not just come from an instructor. More times than I can count, I've discovered that the solution to a problem can be found among those around me. I simply ask everyone, well, what would you all suggest? A leader practicing deliberate calm is comfortable taking input from really anyone, even the most unexpected person. So, the next time the unexpected happens, the solution may not come from the person that you expect. It might come from the unexpected source. Then there's awareness. As a leader, how much of a grasp do you have on the workplace around you? Now, you might say something like, well, intimately, perhaps with some indignation. But would the people around you respond the same way? Now, I'm sorry to be so blunt, but I know firsthand how easy it is to get caught up in the do-or-die tasks that come flying at you every day. And when you're overwhelmed by the urgent, the important can fall by the wayside. And one of those important responsibilities is staying connected to the people and issues going on in the environment around you. But staying connected with your team and the organization in general is essential to being able to deal successfully with unexpected situations. Now, those leaders practicing deliberate calm are able to count on their knowledge of the work environment to provide context which may impact the situation and how they deal with it. In spite of the constant pressures most leaders face these days, these individuals make it a priority to walk around and spend time in the break room and drill down on the issues that seem to be festering and connect with people about maybe their personal issues and the types of things they're facing. Now, sometimes these exchanges take a minute or two, sometimes a bit longer. Now, are they totally versed in everything? No, of course not. But they remain connected to the daily goings-on. Those around them know this, and as a result, the team is more likely to reserve judgment when a crisis or some other unexpected issue arrives. Now, the benefit of the doubt here allows the leader to remain calm and respond effectively when the unexpected takes place. Finally, there's emotional self-regulation. This attribute can be the toughest to master since pretty much everything we think about is processed through a lens of emotion. You ever been in a mood for a ham sandwich? Well, that's making a decision through a lens of emotion, isn't it? Ever made a choice based on what someone you respected recommended? Well, that's making a decision through a lens of emotion as well. You get the idea. But when the unexpected happens, too often we can be influenced by the person who panics or makes some sort of sarcastic comment or maybe projects a defeatist attitude, something like, oh, well, now we're doomed, or something like that. Or maybe you allow yourself to dwell on the pressure to fix the situation. And if you react in this way, those around you will probably absorb some of this negative energy. After all, you're their leader. Have you been there? I certainly have. Those who practice deliberate calm are able to compartmentalize their emotions when the unexpected happens. Now, granted, this takes some practice, but over time they have learned to control their emotions by taking a breath, stepping away, and resisting the urge to react before taking a few seconds to put the situation in perspective. After all, most crises appear a lot more serious at first than they are in reality. And as I said, mastering all four of these attributes takes time and repetition. But as I've observed the best leaders for, 30 years or so, this is one of the practices they all seem to share. Once again, the book is entitled Deliberate Calm, and it goes into a lot more detail than I can in this short video. But if you're looking for some good ideas on how to deal successfully with the unexpected, this would be a good place to start. What do you do when confronted with the unexpected, especially if those around you are observing and even depending upon how you react? Put your ideas in the comments below. We'd all like to know. And make sure to subscribe to this channel for more helpful insights just like these. I'm Bob Wendover.